Hello, and welcome to another One Lion of Code. I am One Lion. Mojo Fawad is here. He was first. Duke is Soft coming in second. Hello, I hope you're doing well. I forgot to send a message out. Let's tell everyone that the stream has started, shall we? Why not? I don't do this all the time, just when I remember. And I thought to do it earlier, but then I forgot, because then I got busy again, like I always do. Anyway, hi, happy Monday. I hope you're doing well today. And yeah. So if you were here on Friday, we had a cool and fun conversation with Peter and Deflux. And one thing that, yes, third lions. Nope, there is one lion, one of them. I blame late notifications. Yes, it's my fault. I have not taken any amount of time. Hi, third. I'm second. I have not taken any amount of time to look at the bot that Broken Sword had kindly made for us for our Discord so that I can figure out what issue is going on that keeps it from telling us when streams go live. It only tells us when we end streams. So I will want to do that someday. I'm coming up maybe on a point in time when I'll be able to spend non-workday time on things. Thinno knows exactly what's wrong. Well, it is an open source project. I'm just not sharing. I want you to experience it yourself. It's an open source project that Broken Sword gave us. I think it's open source. So if there is anything that you happen to know off the top of your head, then I'll get the repo URL from him if I don't already have it starred and send it on forward to you. Yay, build succeeded. Ooh. I am cleaning up so much backlog, it's kind of fun. It may be open, it may be closed, but I think we can be certain that it's at least source. Truth. And Dukasoft says, yeah, the stream ending is the bug. Yes, true. It really should never report that because that should never happen. I don't need that one. I don't want that. No. It says Dukasoft, do you want one of those sleep streams? Like my just sleeping stream would be you guys staring at the actual wall behind me. Because yeah, you are not invited into my bedroom. Night. That is my sanctuary. I think I prefer unconscious. Yeah, I think I do snore too. Okay, anyway, here is my desktop. Hey, there's code on there. So if you were here on Friday, while we were talking with Peter, he talked us through some tests that he added for the calculator, which was really cool of him to put together. I made some modifications to it, and he was like, don't merge this, don't merge this. And then at the end of the stream, I threw it into, or I approved the PR and merged it. And what I should have done in hindsight is, by the way, here's our project so that I can get to the GitHub page easier. So lazy. What I should have done is PRs is what I'm looking for. Taken his branch. So he forked the repo, created a branch off of my working branch with the calculator, and then added the test logic for a calculator. Do not merge. Do not merge. Do not merge. So what I really should have done is instead of having it merge into main, I should have merged it into my working branch and then taken all the changes that we made on the stream and pulled them over into my working branch. But instead I merged it into main, so we have a calculator that is not fully functional in main. It's not crashing, so that's a cool thing. But yeah, I really should have put it into the branch that I was working in. But that's okay. Digsoft says, sadly, I was invited to a party. We'll have to rewatch the Friday stream. Yeah, I mean, if you feel like it, it is definitely there for you. But there is absolutely no requirements. Do you have any JavaScript functions in this project? I do. So I have both types of JavaScript interop. I have the one where you just specify a whole bunch of JavaScript functions in an object that is registered to Windows. So window.myjs functions equals, and then the object with all of the JavaScript functions. Let me see if I can show you exactly where that is. JS interop, which I could have sworn I wrote in TypeScript, but that's fine. So if you go into the JavaScript file, super Dukasoft interop, well, I guess there's only one that's in there, which is collapse all select lists. But that one is an example of using just regular, straightforward JavaScript interop, where there is also a super Dukasoft interrupt.cs that will invoke that JavaScript method. The other type is the isolated JavaScript. And I am sure that I have at least one somewhere. If I haven't used any isolated JavaScript, that would be surprising. But isolated JavaScript are JavaScript modules that you load at runtime into a component, and you essentially create a context for that module. So all of the const variables, all of the lets, and everything are specific to that instance of it. And then the cool thing is it doesn't load until you load that component that uses it. And then after load, or not even then, it will only load. You know what, it'd be easier to search through here. Oh, you know what, and I don't even have it in a .razor.js. it would be a JS object reference. Yeah, okay, so here's an example. And it's actually in a component called sample isolated JavaScript component, where the only time that the JavaScript module gets loaded is when you're actually using it. So what it'll do is it'll load the module if it's not already loaded, and then perform the function that you're trying to use. So I do love that approach. And the thing that I was just completely, I don't want to say wrong, but I do want to say wrong. I was confused about the usage of something like sample isolated JS component.razor.js and being able to load this file here. So if I make that file shared components, my JS interrupt. So if I put this in here, I had some struggles with loading it in here. So in the code, you're specifying the path to it using _content/. And so I didn't think that you could do something like sample components, sample isolated JS component.razor. Now I forget what the actual path to it is, but you really can point to it when it is a isolated component.razor.js JavaScript file. I won't leave that for now because again, I don't really know that yet, and I don't want to muck up this branch too much more than I already have. And so Mojo is asking, is that unique to Blazor? It is. Yeah. So as far as being able to load modules in this way is unique to Blazor. However, you can load modules in this way by using regular HTML, depending on your application type. Hello? Let's go with Blazor server, just because it's the one that I found. _layout. So if you wanted that same module to be loaded as a module, shared components JS, my interrupt. First of all, you tell it that you want it to be a module. I forget how to do that. But you tell it that you want it to be a module. Oh, it's type module. And then if you don't want it to load immediately when the app runs, then you can defer so that it will load when it first gets used. Now, I'm not 100% on this one, but that's my understanding just from using my vague recollection of it and intuition. And yeah. Water, why are you so far away? Okay, and then other comments from Mojo. I'll look into interop. I've been trying to figure out how the JavaScript and C# connect in our app. Yeah, so typically the most straightforward approach is you have a JavaScript file in your www root folder. That JavaScript file is added to your HTML index file if you're using Blazor Wasm or _host, or depending on what version of Blazor server, either _host directly, which used to have everything in it, or the _layout. But you'll see a script source equals, and then here's the path to that JavaScript file. And then the second one, or the next part of that is there's typically a C# file named something similar to the JavaScript file that you're wrapping with this JavaScript interop that has a whole bunch of public static methods that take in the JS runtime and invoke the methods. Here's a better example. The Blazor component library. Did you just say library? I'm gonna cut you. If you go into the shared project, then that is where you will find my O1LJS interop. And this has all of the C# methods that will call the JavaScript method that is associated with it. And those can be found in www.root, file name of a similar type.js, with window dot name of my container for all of these functions, name of my variable registered to window, and then all of the functions that are available from that. So that's the first way that I learned JavaScript interop, and I think it was the only way that existed for a while. I don't think JavaScript isolation came along until a little bit later, like even after CSS isolation, or isolated JavaScript is what I should say. All right, that was fun. Any more questions on that? Lion sleeping sounds are the best. And Zaid is here. I don't know if I actually said hello, but hello, Zaid. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. You show up on screen. You come up on screen. All right. So if there are any more questions, just feel free to pop them into chat. Otherwise, if there's conversation, do the same. Otherwise, let's review just really quickly the calculator test that Peter gave us. And essentially, he has all of these methods that call this test calculator method. So we want to test that basic addition works, which means that if we input the number 1 and then a plus sign and then a 2 and then a 0 and then a equal sign, that we get back the value 21. I am here and I will judge whatever you say. So the thing that I mentioned earlier, Peter, was that a fact? It sure is. Was that I really shouldn't have merged at the end of the stream your PR that you didn't want me to merge anyway. But I shouldn't have merged it directly into main. I should have merged it into my working branch. So now the calculator exists in main when it wasn't even. Yeah, I could revert the merge. I could go through that entire process where we roll back, keep changes, and then move the changes over into my calculator, but I don't mind. I don't mind. But this is pretty awesome because this means that we can check to make sure basic multiplication works, for example. And so we say 2 times 20 should be, oh gosh, oh man, oh, I don't know. Please fix all the names and make them better. I think num output was expected value, right? I don't know if you want to sort everything or just the result. Yeah. I mean, it kind of works for me because I like making sure that when you push a button, current value gets updated. And then num output capital N. Yeah, so this is actual, right? And then expected formula output. expected current value. How's that? But no, I really do like these. I like the way that this is structured. I like the asserts that you chose to use. Is it testing too many things in one test? Possibly. Who knows? But I still like them. Okay, so let's just make sure that they still work as expected. I'm going to run them all because he also told me about having tests that are not finished yet, that are showing up red for the most part, using an ignore test or skip test when I'm still working on them, or when I'm not actively working on them, but they're only half finished and failing. Which I like that idea as well. All right. And we have a failing test. And the failing test is basic multiplication works is false because there is no btn-mult pi. What is it? Control KT to run tests? Are you going to tell me the keyboard shortcut? Control RT. No pi. What is this? Still? Because we got 20 back. That's not a good sign. That's a very bad sign. That tells me that multiplication does not work. So this is perfect for us though. We are now in red-green where I have a test that should be passing. We're 2 times 20. Inputting the buttons 2 followed by a star, followed by a 2, followed by a 0, followed by the equal. Or clicking these buttons, I guess, is what I mean to say, should output 40. And it is not. So we should now go into the method and fix our method. What do you mean it might be okay? I think either line 53 or 54 should show 20. One of the things you're asserting is the last number you entered, which in this case would be a 20. So this was the num output. Okay. RT? It was RT. Except that I think I just went into debug instead of just run test. Maybe it's Control R and then T by itself. Okay, so there we go. We now have a passing test. Thank you for reminding me about that. This is the buttons in the calculator component that corresponds to the inputs. You gonna write this for me, Copilot? Thank you. I'm so lazy. You know, I could have just said document the method test the calculator. Yeah, maybe that is the thing that is not supposed to be happening. Right? The XML document, the XML comments for this method. So typically it does give me the XML comments when I write this. Do it. Just do it. Yeah, sure. Give me. Just go away. Just go away. Yeah, that works for me. Okay. Presses the buttons in the calculator component that correspond to the input string and asserts that the expected values are displayed. Yes. String of characters that would be pressed, the expected value of the current value display, the expected value of the number output display, the expected value of the formula output display. Good enough for me. Good enough for you guys? I sure hope so. So then we may as well put divide, or subtract and divide. I'll put subtract first just because we usually put add and subtract first. You know, I've never tried a negative number. In my subtraction. Okay. Shall we test the tests? Oops, I meant to only be on the calculator tests. All right, so basic division failed. Oops. Wasn't me. I typed the correct thing. Now, I think if I had Visual Studio Enterprise, I would be able to have a thing called continuous testing. I think it's called continuous testing, where as I am writing my method and saving, like first of all, I would see, oh man, I don't even know how you would see that in a Blazor component. But if it was just a regular C# class with public methods that I was testing, I would see the glyphs for whether it is covered under the test or not. It'll have the little beaker symbol. And then I would also be able to see the status of the current test, but then every time that I make a change to that method and then save, it'll run the test immediately without me having to go to Test Explorer and hit run, which is pretty awesome. But if I recall correctly, it's only available. Does it handle divide by 0? So that will be our next test that we write then. Let me just update this. Fix typo. and added, subtraction, multiply, and divide basic tests. Maybe basic first. Cool. So Dukasoft wants to know, I just wanted a local commit. Dang it. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Does it handle divide by 0? So let's write a test. Does not crash. I guess the real thing that we're testing is divide by 0 output works. Okay, so number divided by 0. Expected value was hash div 0. Hash. I always forget what it is. I used Excel's. Oh, actually, no. I think I used the regular systems calculator. And not divide by 0. I used Excel. Get this, hash div over 0 bang. I was really close. Now, I don't remember whether this shows up in the formula or if this still shows up in the formula. But here we go. Oh, Dukasoft. Come on. Nope. Hash div over 0. And then we actually got 0. Okay. So the thing that is supposed to show hash div over 0 is probably the formula. And then we set current value to 0 when we have a not divisible by 0 error. So let's test that. I could just read the code and figure it out, but I mean, who's got time for that? So yes, we actually do get the formula. I really thought that I wrote hash not divisible by 0 somewhere. Hash div 0 not. Max is here. Here's the J's professional. I don't know what that is. Oh, JavaScript professional. I read that as J's, like, I don't know. Some word that starts with J and ends with a plural. So that is not expected. The thing that I'm expecting is for my formula output to say not divisible by 0. Maybe I can tag it on the end of formula output. I programmed yesterday a memory game. Awesome. And there is no way someone can destroy it. That's very cool. And President Usher says, that's why I write JavaScript. What is why you write JavaScript? Divisible by 0? Or what? I found 20 bugs that you can use to cheat, and I fixed them all. Oh, capital J, capital S instead of capital J, lowercase s. Yeah. Because of pronouncing it. Do you want to play a game? Not really. I want to get this done. I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. Okay, so now I have a failing test because I want my output to be this. So, is there a way that I have to be able to update my formula output. Yes, it's assignable. Yes. I mean, definitely share the link if you have it, or if you just have it in HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Do the whole zip it up and send us the link to the zip, if you feel like sharing that. And if I get this to work, then yeah, I'll try it out. But at the moment, I would prefer to try to get this test to work. Yeah, look at this. I no longer have, wait, what? First of all, let's make this capital. But yeah, my formula output was supposed to say not divisible by 0. So yeah, hey test. Formula output is supposed to say not divisible by 0. The fact that it's not was telling me that either I messed something up as far as catching the error, or throwing the error, I guess. Because that should have happened here. Aha. All right, so what's happening is I am, what's the word? Gracefully handling a divide by 0 issue by saying if the number that we input that we're trying to divide by is 0, then give us 0 back. Otherwise, give us current value. So current value down here will be 0. Now, here's the question. Should we allow it to throw the exception when we know that there's a possible exception? Or should we handle it up here? Because throwing exceptions is expensive. And that's always been a thought of mine, where I would prefer to never throw exceptions if it is something that I know has a possibility of happening, that I've already thought about ahead of time. So I think I do want to handle it up here. I always love to panic throw exceptions. Nice. Max said, not gonna lie, it's just memory, but I am still kind of proud. I mean, I would be proud of it too, because 1 week ago I tried it and didn't make it, and now I made it. Yeah, I completely understand, and you should be proud of it. Accomplishing anything that you decide that you're gonna do, I like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is if prevop is divide and num output, what am I typing? Num output is 0, then we have a special case to handle. Else, we let it do its thing. And in this case, we don't even need to do this 0 check anymore. We just do the operation. Okay, and this is going to be to formula output plus gets, not divisible by 0. Can you give that back to me, please? And current value equals 0. So I am updating the formula output display to show whatever formula it already had up there, and then not divisible by 0, which is what I wanted in the first place. Something like that. Then we actually don't have anything to catch down here. So I'm going to get rid of this whole try catch because I am not expecting any other exceptions to happen. If an exception happens, as a developer, I want to know, because I do not anticipate any other exceptions happening within this function, method, function. Yeah, so Max, do you have it on something like CodePen or HTML, CSS? Send it a RAR on Discord. Well, that's what I was saying. Like, if you want to send it to everyone else, you can. But right now I'm trying to get this. But then I did say, if I get this working, which, oops, I just pushed run all. It should be working right about now. Then we can take a look at it. But these things are best for Fridays. Just a reminder, Max. Fridays are community days where we look at this stuff the most. Otherwise, we try to spend our time working on the stream project and chatting. Added div 0 test and fixed. Just local commit, please. Local commit. Okay, but since it did work, I will download your virus. Which I don't think it's actually going to let me, because I changed my Chrome to be the highest protection settings. So copy link, Firefox. Ooh, even Firefox is like, nope, 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 nope. Okay, here's a recommendation, Max. If you really do want me to look at this, I'm assuming it's HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, like pure HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. Oh, never mind, you just copy pasted it to me. From now on, if it's a sample like this, I'm going to ask you to put it in CodePen. Because it is so much easier to share that with other people. And besides, it'll be good for your own profile. So that when you are showing samples of your work in the future, you can be like, yeah, here's some things that I did. that I did. Oh yeah, right. I turned on Windows Hello for my passwords too. I'm doing all the things that I'm supposed to do. Ew, what happened to my profile picture? What are you doing to my profile picture? New pen. Dud is the past tense of did. Exactly, tactics. And also hi. No, I don't care. You can keep the header there. Oops. All right. I hate it when I do that. Back to Discord. D-short. Negbake. Give me text. Copy text. This is JavaScript. JavaScript. CSS. CSS. Stop. No, and I just closed Discord. Okay, there we go. So, memory game. written by our very own Max. And pure HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. I'm trying to get back to OBS so I can see chat. Okay. Push, push, night, push, push, height, push, push, night, push, push, height. Does it tell us when we lose? I mean, when we how many points we get for winning? Night. It does not. But that's still awesome. The point that it will that it delays just enough. Actually, does it delay? I don't know if it delays. But it would be easy to add. I'm just going to push a button so that it resets. It does not reset. It kind of does a hot reload thing. You don't, oh yeah, duh. Don't need HTML, head, body. We get that for free. Oop. Did you have any CSS libraries? You do not. And don't need this either. Cool. Okay, anyway. It is as simple as that. You just put everything that was inside of your body here, everything that was inside of your CSS here, and everything that was inside of your JavaScript here. And there you go. But yeah, it looks like the random is truly random. So that's awesome. And ooh, I was gonna get it. I wanted to win. Yeah, that's the shuffle method over here. So we're just getting a random index. Interesting. So at a glance, I'm not exactly sure how this works. To be honest. So like, I'm trying to think of how you are not reusing the same index when you're getting a random number. Like, how are you not getting the same random index back on multiple passes? Ooh, I don't know why, but I can't think through that. I mean, it works. It obviously works. That is JavaScript. And it hurts me physically, right? And I refreshed without having it saved, so it just lost everything. But that's fine. It's really cool that it works. I'm really glad that it does. I couldn't brain it. Because right now my brain is thinking on test logic as opposed to functionality. Something. My brain just didn't want to do it. That's all. It was being very resistive. But we did see, however, that the changes that I made to the test and to my method now line up. It was a pseudo test-driven development thing. For next time for the game, I highly recommend the Knuth Shuffle. I stumbled into the algorithm after failing to write my own shuffle. And here is a link. AKA Fisher Yates. Cool. Oh, thank you so much for the follow, Julian Deserter. Oh, no worries. So live coding, I mean, gosh, Peter is recommending try out this shuffle. See if it works for you. It's called the Knuth Shuffle, which is also known as Fisher-Yates Shuffle, just to see if you can do it. But I honestly couldn't, for next time only, I honestly couldn't understand how your shuffle was not having collisions. Like, I was reading it and I was like, you're just picking a random index every time. It's almost like, oh, you know what? Let me look at this again, because I think I just logicked out how it might be. I could be completely wrong about it. Enhance. Give me the code. Copy. Impasta. Show. Oh, it's this one. Show over here. Okay. We are. No, we're not. I was thinking that we were popping an item out of the original array so that our, oh yeah, that's what's going on. Okay. Kind of. That still doesn't make sense. I thought that we were popping a value out of the original array and reducing the size of that array to pick a random number from the beginning of the array to the end of the array, random index, and then pushing that into array random index. And that's the number that gets put into the current index that we are at. Huh. Anyway, I'm good. I really don't want to spend time on this. Did Mojo say anything? In Discord. I'm blind. It was a good joke with the full context. Okay. Pointed out how live coding's advice is always figure it out and move on. True. But you know what? You get stuff done if you do that. It's kind of weird. You don't spend more time than you have to on a thing. So having a good balance of let's just figure it out and move on versus, or with, let's get it done the right way, which for me, get it done the right way takes way too long because I consider way too many things that don't need to be considered. And at some point, I just need to be, let's get it figured out and then move on. Yeah. Okay, let's do complex math. I can use are they called hypothesis? Are they theories? I can use theories on this using this approach. Not theory. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the type of test that you can write a whole bunch of different inputs and test all of their outputs. Data set thing? Is that what it was? Some kind of data set where you take the parameters which is kind of what you're doing. I would just want to write this in a inline data. That's exactly what I was thinking about. Theory with inline data. But when it comes to complex objects as parameters, that's when you need something like data set or whatever. I can't remember. But I just remember that it's different. Max says, okay, I've got it. Basically, for every value in an array, it's just getting a new number. It doesn't matter if a number gets twice because nothing changes the number. Whatever happens, the numbers are still evenly there because we can just shuffle it. Nope. Wasn't a good enough just typed out explanation for me to understand it like that. So what I could do though is here, make this a theory. And then have, but yeah, the thing that I like about the way that you did it up here was that you have names for these things. So this one is a test specifically for starts at 0. This one is a test for positive number entry works, negation works, so on and so forth. And I like that they will show up in my test explorer as those specific items, whereas if I just put them as inline data parameters for test the calculator, then I wouldn't have names for those tests. So I will still use a theory for this one. And this I will call consecutive operations total correctly. I have no idea. I'm going to take the same parameters as test the calculator. And then I'm going to do the thing that I was planning on doing, which is just going to be pass all of this on to test the calculator. Come on, Copilot, use the pattern from above, please. No. There you go. There you go. So lazy. So lazy. Okay. And then the inline data that we want is going to be a button press of 1 plus 2 plus... Dead. Apocalypse. Oh, that was fun. I fell over. Welcome in, Apocalypse. I hope you are doing well. Let's do a 2-digit number somewhere in here. Does anyone know what the sum of this is? Because I sure don't. 2327. Followed by the last number we input, and then the formula that should be appearing will be 23 plus 4 equals space. Let's just test that one to make sure that I am writing it correctly, but I want to do multiples of these where I do first an add, and then all subtracts, and then all multiplies, and then all divides, and then a combination of add and subtract, add, multiply. I mean, I don't know that I need to do all of the combinations where I first do one operator and then the other, but enough that shows that I can push multiple operators in a row, or multiple number operator equals. All right, and yes, it did work, and we got exactly what we were expecting. Beautiful. Okay, so what happens if I add one more number? Man, I'm creative. 38, 21, 27 plus 21. So I just did Control R T, and that is weird. Why is it not showing my glyph? So for theories, you don't get this nice little glyph. That's kind of annoying. Oh. Okay, one failed, and the one that failed, I was expecting 3. I can do math. Since the loop processes each element exactly once and the current element is swapped with a random remaining element. Okay, so a random remaining element. The thing is, I don't know how you are getting rid of elements. Unless that was the whole part where it was, yeah, I think I closed it. The whole part where it was replacing array at current index with the number. I don't know. Doesn't get rid of elements, just simply rearranges their positions within the array. Every element that was present in the original array will still be in the shuffled array after the shuffling process is complete. Here's a simple analogy to help understand the concept. Imagine you have a deck of playing cards, shuffling the deck. Yeah, I understand the concept of shuffling. The method itself does not read as it's being described, is what I'm saying. Like, my brain could not read the JavaScript and come to the conclusion that every element in the original array will get shuffled into the second array. Yeah, don't copy paste ChatGPT at me. If you were saying it in a way that made sense to you, then yeah, I'll take that, because maybe it'll make sense to me. But if it's just output from ChatGPT, at least rewrite it in your own words in a way that makes sense to you. Because if you don't understand what ChatGPT is saying, you don't even know if it's right or not. I find that a waste of time. I like using ChatGPT as a tool. I've said that before. I like it as a tool to help me get somewhere, but not as something to feed to someone else. Pasta. I mean, go. And it didn't finish? Didn't run? No tests to run, because it probably didn't have any tests selected. Okay, there we go. So that's working. Let's do 1 plus 22 times 4. Because I can do math. You guys already know I can do math. 23 times 4 is 72, 70, 68. Wait, 72. I did 12 plus 80, 92. I'm so terrible at this. Somebody else do math. 23 times 4. Okay, and you would normally, but what we are doing here is we're operating the calculator by pressing the 1 button and then the plus button and then a 2 and then another 2. And then when you press the times, it does the first operation and then the next button and then the equal sign. So when you're doing normal multiplication, then yes, you would group this as, or normal operation, order of operations, it would be multiply first and then this. But this is simulating button presses on a calculator. Proof? Did I just lie? I really don't want to lie. Why? Just run. Just run. Okay. The proof is that the test passed. Okay. I guess, so that's nice and all. But the one that I'm currently struggling with that I would love to be able to implement right now, like this is where I would struggle with test-driven development. Oh, awesome. I hope you have fun, Max. This is where I struggle with test-driven development. I would want to come up with all of the possible things that I would want to do with my whatever I'm testing and write tests for them. But I don't know if this is the right way. Like, is that the right way to do TDD? Write all of the possible tests that you can think of and then code your logic for all of the things that you want to do. Or is it, let's come up with the next thing that I want to get working, write a test for that, and then code the logic for it until that test turns green. I don't know. The latter sounds like TDD to me. So do they actually have different names? I think one step at a time would be easier to manage. I agree, but then it's like I'm also maybe needing to just do a whole bunch of to-dos. Test for clear button. Only clearing current value, not even current value, current input. And not last value, or current total kind of thing. To do test for pushing operation buttons twice in a row. That's exactly what I was going to put, or multiple times is what I was going to put. To do test for pushing different operation buttons consecutively. So Peter says, if you program up a bunch of failing test cases without fixing all of them, you couldn't commit your partial implementation on a team project. Failing tests would break CI. Gotcha. So that's a good reason to do just one test and then implement the method to make that test work. And then President Usher says, well, you have the one case, it fails, you refactor the code to pass that case, then you add the next case and repeat. All right, I like this. Thank you so much for your input. And then Dukasoft just says what I'm doing, just to do. Test for everything I haven't thought of. You could do. Yes. Yet. I like that Copilot was like, you're gonna think of them yourself though. And it's like, no. You are. Also, in most situations, you can't just write another test, adding a property to an entity framework backed by the database, not a small thing. All right. So I'm really liking all of these arguments, all of these cases for writing only one test at a time. Test for pushing up. Oh my gosh, that's a good test. Test for pushing clear all button. I didn't know if a programmer is an optimist. Oh, I don't know, but I want to hear it. He writes to do instead of fix me in his comments. Ag. Just write method stubs and have them all pass. Oh yeah, true. Yeah. Like, I mean, what I tend to do, at least on my work product, is I will do small commits anyway. So small commit, small commit, small commit, all locally. And then if a whole bunch of them actually are related to each other, then I would squash those specifically. But for the most part, it really is just small commit, small commit, small commit, small commit, and then push. And then I have like 30 small commits. All right, what is the one that I'm trying to do right now? It is pushing an operation button after the equals. That's the one that I really want to get to work right now because I think that's where we left off on last Wednesday. And I was just like, I mean, on Monday, my brain wasn't having it. And then on Wednesday, I was doing okay, but I still couldn't figure it out. All right, first our stub, public void. Sure. I don't know why you did that with my formatting, but thanks. Okay, so how about some inline data? You're not going to give it to me for free. Yeah, you are. Okay, so this is actually what I mean to test by consecutive equal button presses. No, that's not the one that I want. Consecutive, so operation, pressing operation button after equals works. What is a theory? So a theory is a thing that allows you to put multiple cases in one test. I'm pretty sure that's all a theory is. Versus a fact, which is here is a test that is going to get ran. So essentially, this whole test the calculator method is a theory with inline data of all of these cases up here. It's just they're written as facts so that I could actually see them in my test explorer as this is what this test is supposed to be doing specifically. I'm not testing all of the things in here, even though I am just one test and then telling everything else to run that one test. But yeah. I think this was so smart. So Peter wrote the initial test for us, which is awesome. And he's, of course, talking down on himself about them. But I think it was a really smart way to do them. He's like, they're just dirty. And I'm like, it makes sense. I think this is perfect for testing the calculator. They always follow this same kind of arrange, act, assert. It's just different inputs. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you do. That makes my heart sing then. Well, fine. Yeah, I have even more respect for you then for saying that. So Peter said, I do think my tests are awesome. I think they also have room for improvement as well. I will also say that I strongly protest the name theory, and I'm sure they chose it intentionally, and I'm just an N-unit boomer who likes test. Yeah, I don't know. I think the first test that I wrote was X unit, and that's why I'm constantly only using X unit. It has nothing to do with I think one is better than the other. It's just this is what I tried once and I understood it. I want to encourage you to change anything as this is your project mostly. That's what I was trying to emphasize. Yeah, so I like that approach too. It's like, even though I'm providing this to you, I'm really just saying, here is an example of it, make it your own, modify it, change it. Unfortunately for you, I guess, I don't know if it's unfortunate, I really, really like this approach and I don't want to change this one. This one makes the most sense to me. And it's not just because I'm lazy. I mean, I am lazy, but it's not just because I'm lazy. Okay, pushing operation buttons after equals button. And another number followed by another number. Okay, so we want 1 plus 22 plus 4 is going to be 23 plus 4 is 27 plus 5 is 32. I hope 32. Which means that we really want plus 14 so we can have the meaning of life. Okay, so then 1 plus 22 is 23 plus 14 is 37 plus 5 equals. Okay, so I have a feeling this one is going to fail, but I'm pretty sure that this is how it should behave. And we'll test it on an actual calculator just to verify. But this is going to be the hard one, which is I am changing operators. Yeah, which we haven't tested yet. So after I write the test for pushing different operation buttons consecutively, I think I want to call these operator buttons consecutively, changes or uses the most recently pressed operator. Yeah, so once I write this one, then I'll do the thing where I do 1 plus 22 plus, no wait, I meant minus 14 equals times, no wait, I meant divide, kind of thing. How did I pick this project? That is explained due to channel playlist. This one. I'll give you the quick answer though. I'll give you the quick answer. But that is explained here, as well as I think I put it in the GitHub repo. I'll do bang project. So bang YouTube, bang project. think I put it in the README. Requirements, choice. No, I didn't put the full thought process in there. Okay, but it used to be that I could stream my entire workday when I used to work at the Rocky Mountain Arsenal. I keep pointing that way. It's that way. That way. When I used to work at the Rocky Mountain Arsenal, I could stream my entire workday, my professional job that I did for a living. And it was awesome. We had a lot of fun doing Blazor development, seeing what it's like in the real world. I mean, it's still not the real world because the team that I worked on was me as a senior dev, and I had one junior dev. And the junior dev had very little programming experience to begin with. So it was more like it was just me for the most part. And I made all the decisions on what technologies to use and stuff. So anyway, we got to see that on stream, and community members and viewers were able to contribute to this real world project that was in support of doing environmental cleanup, which was awesome. It was fun. But then I got a new job, and with that job came new responsibilities. No, came a I now work for Sagetti, which, as I mentioned before, and every time that I mention their name, the views and opinions expressed on this stream are my own views and opinions. It may not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Sagetti, or its parent company, Capgemini. When I got a job with Sagetti, it's a consulting firm, and what consulting firms typically do is they have a whole bunch of consultants that they assign to clients. So then they get clients. Clients say, we want this project done. Sagetti or Capgemini? Capgemini. Anyway. So I'm not able to say to disclose who the client is, nor any of the other clients of Sagetti. And I can't show any of the code that I write for the client. And so I'm like, I still want to stream. I still want to do Blazor because I love hanging out with you guys. You're amazing people. And I don't have very much time to do it since I can't do it during my workday. So I take a 2-hour lunch essentially and stream during that time. And I said this already. I wanted to do Blazor still. And we talked about what types of projects we could do. The easiest one being the Twitch bot, because I really want to improve my Twitch bot. But then at the same time, I was like, this is the short version, by the way. I've been using Access to track my finances on my own. I would show it to you, but it actually has my current, not like my actual bank account routing numbers or anything like that, but it shows my financial institution names and the current balances in them. And then the section that has all of my transactions that I have input into it. And I've been using that since 2014. It was purely Access to begin with, even the database part of it. I built forms on top of it, used VBA macros to do all of the logic. Then I moved the database to SQL Server. And so now all of my data is in SQL Server, but everything else is still in Access. And I'm like, I've been a .NET developer since around 2014 at least, and I should be able to turn this into a web app and now cross-platform app. I've wanted to do that forever. Let's make it a stream project. Yeah, the end. That's how we came to it. Did that work? 1 plus 22 is 23, minus 14 is 9, times 5 is 45. Oops. 89. I love that story. Oh, I have no idea how to shorten my stories. Like, I think that I'm saying only the important parts to the story, but I'm often giving way too many details. It's like, I used to work for a place that I could stream all day. Then I got a job where I couldn't stream all day. And now I'm streaming Blazor still at my new job. Yeah, still doesn't get to how I chose this project though. I asked the stream, what should we do? Nobody really had any opinions, and I wanted to do this. I made this story shorter. And it's all the details that are needed to make the story true. Okay, so this should fail. If I recall correctly, I have some bugs. In this type of scenario. And that is the case. Yeah, okay. Can someone help me verify that I did the math right? Actually, I'm just going to say it again out loud. 1 plus 22 is 23, plus 14 is 37, plus 5 is 42. 1 plus 23, 1 plus 22 is 23, minus 14 is 9, times 5 is 45. Yes. Okay. So I'm pretty sure I did the math right. 42 is correct at least. Yes. So I'm pretty sure I did the math right. This thing is telling me that my expected value, 45, was actually negative 136 for the 9 times 45 one. And then my expected value for this one is 182. I'm kind of curious to actually see that. Yeah. I'm really curious to see that happen. I want to know if that's true. Yeah, definitely. And now because I have written this test, I cannot commit until this test passes. And Master Rat says, I got a job at a place that pushes TDD, by the way. It's been revolutionary. Were you here when I asked earlier? I mean, I got a whole bunch of feedback already. But when you do TDD, you are only writing one test and then making that test pass? Or are you writing multiple tests and then implementing all of the tests for TDD? Your way. I mean, your company's way. I think I might actually, like, the hurdle for me is setting up the tests initially. Like, with the mocks for all of my transaction data entry stuff. Ugh. Oof. I could spend, I don't know, an entire iteration just doing the mock setup for the tests. One at a time. Red, write a failing test. Green, write only the code to make that test pass. Orange, refactor if needed for the working code. Nice. And it saves so much time in the long term. They're a huge pain to set up though. Yeah. But I'm thinking, since I do have the one setup, and this was done as a combination with Peter and Tyron and Eagle to set up my initial tests, that I was like, we're going to do this entire project TDD. And what did I do? I started writing a test and I got stuck at mocking the database, and the database calls. And then I'm like, we're going to finish out these tests and then never write tests again until we finish all of the core functionality. Oh, it was so bad. I hate going back on my word. There are tools like Bogus to make prepping mocks a bit more convenient. I don't know. You don't call me. Peter says, adding the first integration test takes me a solid day usually, at least if I don't die in the process. And testing any untested part of the code base once I have the first test set up elsewhere takes at least an hour of extra setup time. So test setup is the roughest part for me as well. Oh no. I need to unpair my headphones from my phone because it keeps stealing my audio. And the YouTube video that I was just watching started playing. Unpair. Can you guess? Can you guess? Oh my gosh, where even is that tab? Here it is. Can you guess what I've been working on for our app lately? Again, revisiting for the 4th time now. I wish I had. I think that I am going to take this time, this revisit of this topic as I am going to study it until I understand it and get it coded correctly, because accessibility has been a pain point for our app since before I started working here. So I've done a lot with it and I think it's okay, but there was an issue that came up with the Microsoft Store certification that says we still have some issues that are needing to be addressed in order to stay certified. So I'm addressing them. But I also just want to do the entire app again, go through everything and make sure that it is narrator navigable. Yeah. Anyway, Officer SUI, backend is for losers. I don't know. I disagree with that statement, but you're allowed to have that opinion. Why no one writes firmware on Twitch? I don't know. I don't personally write firmware because I don't know how to, and I'm not interested in doing that. I am interested in making functionality, productivity, automation type applications. All right, Master Rat said, it's so easy to fall out of TDD. And then Peter said to Master Rat, see, I test against a real database, which makes it harder, but my tests are perfection. Fair, tough but fair. And then Master Rat said to Officer SUI, is it just SUI? Can I just call you Officer? Hello, Officer. I'm full stack, so I'm half loser, half winner. It tracks. President Usher just says, I'm a winner. I'm working on a desktop application where our backend is just the package library that has all of our core functionality. And I don't really work on that much. I do on occasion, but for the most part, I'm working predominantly on the user-facing side, on the UI and logic and stuff that works for that. Okay, why are you guys backwards now? 7, 8, 9. Why did these change order? Seven, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's probably something I did not too long ago. Low-level programmers are a rare breed, and there are people that absolutely enjoy it and are prideful of it, which I am not. I don't want to tell you to not be prideful of your programming skills. humility goes a long way, but I still like people that are confident in their skills, but also understand that they have room to grow. That it's always a learning process. Like Peter just said about his tests. I thought that was the coolest thing. I love that. Excuse me, hot reload. Oh, I don't need to rerun. I just need to refresh the page so that the component re-renders. I'm just gonna rerun it. I don't want to fight with that today. Okay, so then Master Rat said, what a way to mess with the user. Shuffle the buttons each time. Have you ever played Lineage 2? They have a code. So like you log in and then it presents you with a number pad and then you type in your PIN so that it's two-factor-ish authentication, even though it's something you know. But anyway, so that someone else can't get your password and then be able to log into. Anyway, so they do the thing where they shuffle the key input every time. Hot reload costs way more time than it saves. Not always for me, but a lot of times it has been lately, which is kind of sad. Dickasaw says, hot mess. And Amin is here. Hello, Amin. Come on, Amin. Okay, anyway, we are going to put in this test manually. This test. To find out where in the world these numbers are coming from. So 1 plus 2, 2 plus 1, 4. So this is what the test is doing. It's actually pushing these buttons. Don't push my buttons. Followed by an equal sign, followed by a plus 5. Aha, and there it is. I forgot that that's what the issue was, is that after pushing the equal sign, I am not clearing out the num display. And that's all that I should have to do. If the button that I pushed was submit, then I need to make sure that my num display is cleared out. And like, it's super clear to me, but I was struggling with that on last Monday. I just could not brain it one bit. And then Wednesday, I still wasn't able to fully get it. But now it's like, oh, duh. All you have to do is after you push the equal sign, not only am I setting the active op equal to null, I'm setting whole number part and decimal part equal to 0. Turning off decimal. And setting input dirty equal to false. Okay, so let's find out if that does a thing. Again, no hot reload. So who knows? Maybe it actually worked. It hot reloaded. It was something like 1 plus 14 plus 7. I can't remember what numbers I used. Equals plus 20. Yeah, and there we go. All right, so let's go back to our test. RT. And again, that's Control R, let go of Control, and push T. That's the keyboard shortcut for running a test without debug. If you hold Control and press R followed by T without letting go of Control, then we got 4 back. Then you are running it with debug. We got 4 back. Not according to this. Can you give me the buttons again? Because I already forgot the sequence. 1 plus 22 plus 14 equals plus 5 equals. All right, we are going to debug the 1 plus 22 plus 14 plus 5. Hey, we are getting a glyph. We didn't have the glyph on the other theory. Okay, so is this one the 1 plus 22 plus 5? One plus 22, no. I don't want this one, I want the next one. 1 plus 22 plus 14 plus 5. F11. We're going to get our... Oh wait, was this an extension method? Dang it. This is the thing that I wanted to step into. And I don't think I can run it again because it is going to reuse. Oh, and just because we can, let's go ahead and show off. We want this thing to only hit when the breakpoint at 107. That way, when we skip the first one, we won't hit that breakpoint, but then when we, not F5. We're running the WPF app. No, we're running the server app. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I meant to say Control RT. It's a great idea. Sadly, not that great implemented. Not that I could do any better. Oh, hot reload. Wait. Oh, because it did actually hit that. Okay. What I really should have done was set it to where one of my inputs, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, so here is my 1 plus 22 plus 14 equals plus 5. So this is the one that I want to check to see what button clicks it's supposed to perform, which is 1 plus 2, 2 plus 1, 4 equals plus 5 equals. So it's definitely going to do the right sequence of button clicks. And Julian says you can add a condition that it only hits the breakpoint the second time it hits 2. You're right. I just didn't know if it always will do the multiply first and then the add first, so that's why I want it to be specifically when it does this as my input. But you are right. So it would be this. which I guess really we only need that for down here. Because this is the part that we're testing. Or not testing, but debugging. And this is another thing that is kind of annoying to me. So in the UI, when we push this 1 plus 2, 2 plus 1, 4 equals plus 5 equals, we get the right answer. But my test is telling me that we are not getting the right answer. Instead, we are getting 4. Sorry, 4 for that one. We're getting 0. No, it's not. The thing that it's telling us is for the... Oh my gosh, how do I know which parameter it's telling me is failing? Interesting. Okay, so this is where maybe having only one assert would be better for the method. Man, I really liked this approach too, where I'm testing to make sure that the expected current value, which is the result. So I'm going to put that expected calc. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to select all of these. Calculated value. I'm going to turn them all to calculated value. And then num output would be expected gosh, this one's harder to describe. So num output is the value of the number that is input into here, of the string that's input into here. So here we have a whole number part variable holding 5 and a decimal part variable holding 2, but the actual num output is going to be 5.2 as a string turned into a decimal. So it should be 5.2, for example. So it's whatever this current display is. So expected input num display. And the reason, oh, that's going to turn all of my tests red. The reason why is because when I push the equal sign, now my expected number display is going to be 0 because I am zeroing out the value that is in the displayed this thingy. So when I push equals, this goes to 0. Is that how calculators are expected to work? 5 plus 2 equals? No, that's easy. The expected thing to happen is the value is the thing that gets put. And then if I push 2, then it clears out. Okay. Oh, yuck. Yuck. So here's what I'm kind of inclined to do. Yep, that's not gonna work. I am inclined to have a set on my num output property that is displayed in the UI as the thing that gets typed in, so that when you push the equal sign, we assign it equal to the current calculated value. So let's do 20 things. Let's call this current calculated value. I like that. Let's call this input num. I don't know a good name for this though. This is like the input number as the number. Var passed in. Oh, you know what? I kind of like what Copilot was about to tell me to do. I need to stop soon. No, I don't. There's still 10 minutes. Why did it sound like my 3-minute alarm was going off? It was probably a song. So when I set the value of my input num, displayed input num, yeah, displayed input num, whole number part, decimal part, is, say the whole number part is, well, I don't like this because rounding. So I would prefer this to be math.floor of u divided by 1. And dude, oh, m is decimal. And then the, oh, this is, oh my gosh. I am not finishing my sentences. I'm doing a terrible part. So you can tell what I'm doing though, can't you? I am getting the whole number part of the value that is getting assigned to this thing by doing math.floor of the value divided by 1, because math, actually, does math.floor work on a number, on a decimal without a formula? Math.floor of the number, I did broke it, you're right. And then the decimal part is going to be value mod 1. Gosh, yeah, so this is the reason that I was wanting to do it the other way. Num as string, and I'm just typing it out in long form so that you could see it, I guess. Num parts split on the decimal. And again, the question was asked for internationalization. Will the user be able to change the decimal separator? So like in many European countries, they use the comma as the decimal place separator. Or apostrophe in some cases. I think Japan, their yen, they use apostrophes. Multi-language stuff is the worst. So, I mean, that would just be as simple as setting some kind of application-wide state variable that says, what is our separator? Our decimal separator. Hop back. Welcome back. So we can't do this. We just need to long parse. Oh. If num parts dot length is greater than 1, then we can get the decimal part long dot parse. That's going to be fun too. This thing is going to modify state as well. No, it's not. No, it's not. Just kidding. Okay, so long.parse numbers dot numparts dot last. I'm not even going to do a try parse. L0. So I like this math.floor. That's super easy. But the numparts, I think I have to have for the decimal place because I don't want to do a multiply by the number of decimal places in order to turn it into a whole number because rounding issues. I am also hungry. Should I eat? Oh, if we all could just decide on the SI system and be done with it. I don't have a preference. Like right now, I understand Imperial because that's what I've used my whole life. Is it Imperial? I'm pretty sure it's Imperial. Oh, I guess I didn't finish reading your whole thing. I read that in like a dyslexic order. But anyway, top to bottom, Thindle says, if we could all just decide on the SI system and be done with it. Then he says, I am also hungry. Should I eat or should I accept my fate? Dukasov says, you should stream. The end. The correct answer is entertain me. Dance. Speaking of, where is my multi-stream? There you are. Now where's my chat? Okay, so this should have made the calculator function like this calculator, where if you push 5 plus 2 and then another operator, then you get that number as the displayed number. That's not what it's going to do. Plus 4 equal sign. So anyway, the equal sign is the only one that should work now. Oh my gosh. How long more are you on for? 3 minutes. So 7, there. 7 plus 4. Oh man, I wish that, equal sign. And this should have turned to 11, so we go to 11. Ah, I needed to rebuild. There might be a gap, but sure. Fall into the... Oh, anyway, the cool thing is that we accomplished today is we are, I lost my cursor. We are able to use the testing setup that Peter gave us. And now we've written some tests. And as I am changing code, we're seeing the existing test fail when I change something that affects the rest of the tests. And I love that. I absolutely love that. Okay, so here we go. 1 plus 4. When we do the equal sign, this should have turned to 5. No, it shouldn't have, because I have not actually set num output. Oh yeah, I have right here. Oh my goodness, I did it in the wrong place. Tell anyone. Who's here? I'll reload. What would y'all like me to work on? Bot dev, Twitch Azure function hooks, or payment systems in the web shop? Dukasoft votes payment. I vote Dukasoft's vote. 1 plus 5 equals 6. Okay, so that means that we get rid of this thing, but then the next functionality that we have is this thing is dirty. Yeah, so now this thing is dirty. Got it. So I think this is going to work the way that we're expecting it to. We need to fix up the tests so that they use the current value. Plus, ooh, did you see that? I knew that was going to be another issue. So now because when I hit equals, this is my current num display. If I push another plus sign, the previous operator was plus. And so it'll do 14 plus 14. And I thought that I cleaned out previous operator. So it's almost like we're starting over. You know what? I think that's going to work. That's the last thing that I'm going to do, except that I broke everything. How did that break everything? Just by setting prevop equals null. And it broke everything. Okay, last try. Calculator. 1 plus 5 equals plus. Yeah, didn't work. Okay, we'll figure it out though. We'll get it figured out. But we have tests that are going to help us figure it out. That's what I was trying to get at earlier, is now that we have this pattern that we can use for writing tests, we can have an easier time implementing features like when you push the equal sign and then you start typing another number, then it resets everything. Or if you push an operator at that point in time, then it will not add the previous number. It'll just put the current value as the current number that you were about to add something to, instead of adding whatever is already down here to that kind of thing. So what it needs to do is treat this like it is the first time that you're inputting a number. Yes, so we'll do that and we can figure it out. But for now, that's going to be it for my time. It's going to be a little bit before Thindle is going to start streaming. So we will go ahead and raid out to someone else. Oh no. Oh no. Hold on. Hold on. That someone else currently has a vote on who they are about to raid. No vote to me. I am ending my stream. Ooh, I love that she's looking. Okay. Group 2. Okay, so anyway. Yes. Okay, so anyway, I had to tell Alicia's stream, who I was about to raid, that we are ending our stream. Ops. Ops. Okay, so anyway, we're going to raid someone else. We're gonna raid Dragon Spirit Games. So if you don't know him, Dragon Spirit Games is an indie game dev for the most part. That's what we'll start calling him now. He's making a game called Gaia about his daughter. I like supporting him, except that he's showing his offline. He's showing his online, but offline. So that must mean he quit. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna raid someone that is online. What Dukasoft said: I will be posting this video to YouTube no sooner than 24 hours after I end the stream. We're going to raid. How do you do raid? /raid. /raid. Red Cabin Games. This is Jonas. He's working on Space Scavenger 2. And he is a game dev. If you like watching Unity developers, I like watching Unity developers because I want to learn Unity. I love C#. Ow. There is something bright that I just heard. That was really loud, whatever it was. But anyway, so I'm going to let that thing count down. Oh, wait. Wait, cancel. Just kidding. We're going to go over to Dragon Spirit Games because he is getting set up. And I want to support him. He has not as many viewers typically, but he is a really cool guy. He just recently had his laptop upgraded so he can actually support streaming game development. Seems like he's having streaming issues still. But anyway, we'll go and support him if you want. I'll be over there hanging out. I'll also be on Red Cabin Games and Settlix and Code Red Games. And now there's too much sound happening through my audio and I have no idea what's going on anymore. Okay, so that's going to be it for me for today. Feel free to check out the recording of this video on the YouTubes. Join us in Discord. Hang out with us next time. I'll be back on Wednesday. Two. It's not my fault. It's Irish John. He's got us all saying two. I don't even know when that originated. I know it was from his TTS. The way that it said two and underscore. But anyway, that's it. I'm going. Ciao for now. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Many enjoyments to you.